The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good afternoon from TFNN. Welcome to the October 6th terrific Tuesday edition of today's Trader's Edge show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Of course, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life happens for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance. And truly, that's what life is all about. So today, we're going to go look at the circumstances of the bulls and the bears, the buyers and the sellers. We're going to go figure out exactly what it is they're communicating to you and I this afternoon. I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here, and I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. Dial on at 877-927-6648. Of course, internationally, you can reach out to us at 727-445-1044. This is, well, Turnaround Tuesday, terrific Tuesday. Of course, it's Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, we got the Dow basically flat up 5 points, trading at 16,782. S&P is off 10 points. Composite down 53. Russell 2000 off 11. The DAX closed up 88 points. She closed at 99.02. The FTSE closed up 27 points. She closed at 63.26. Goldilocks up about $9 at 11.46. Silver up 28 cents at 15.99. Natural gas up a couple of pennies. Looks like light sweet crude up $1.95. I don't know. Did we take a look at the breakout yesterday and or Friday inside of light sweet crude? Remind me. We'll go take a look at that. But first, I believe where we need to start is really on the red board. We got to go figure out what's going on inside of the NASDAQ composite. And let's start off. If you take a look, if you're watching us on TigerTV, I hope that you are, you see my e-signal screen out here. And the area we're going to focus on here, point losers, because it is that biotech sector that continues to be taken apart and is where the market is struggling. So what you and I need to do, just prior to coming on the air, I went back to make sure I understood what the weighting structures were inside of the IBB. Let me switch over to this chart right here. And if we take a look at the top 10 holdings, that is Celgene, Biogen, Amgen, Gilead, and Regeneron. All of those are 8% plus or minus, a few. And so figure those five represent 40%. There's 141 issues inside the IBB, the biotech sector. The top 10, which then goes on to include Alexion, Vertex, Insight, Mylan, and Illumina, represent 60% or more. That's 10 out of the 141 issues. So our work today is relatively easy for you and I in order to figure out what it is we want to do. Now, what I'll also do, I've got the IBB up on my screen here first. And we take a look at the IBB. What you really want to also do, I think we covered this yesterday, but if not, we're going to certainly cover it today. The key with the IBB this week is going to be its low, in my opinion. Well, I know we talked about this because we said, hey, the IBB, for all intents and purposes, let's say maybe it tests that August 24th. Now, let me turn off these TAS market profiles. I don't want to clutter the screen at the moment. So we knew that last week price was moving down with accelerated volume, 33.8 million shares, going into even the August 24th level that had 15 million shares. Now, the bottom of that swing point, 284.16, wasn't tested. Last week, it got down to 285.53. The key this week is going to be 285.53. That is a hammer candle. And if you close below the hammer candle, you know the expression, if you're long, you're wrong. What does that mean? That means you're going to come back all the way to the next level of support. What would that be? Well, we could turn on our market profiles, or we could just simply do a retracement from the swing point low, which would be back here in 2014, April. You can see that by closing below, if in fact it does close below the low of last week. That's the 0.618 retracement level of that large move up. That says 248.85 would be in the cards. And if volume's accelerating, shoot, 207.48. But first, it's got to get below that hammer candle. Now, if the IBB formed a hammer candle, sorry about that. If the IBB formed a hammer candle, what do you think the likelihood that a lot of the issues with inside the IBB also formed weekly hammer candles? Yep, you got it. We get that many, not just many, but I mean many. Now, let's go take a look. Let's go see what's going on with 60%. That's really all that you and I are concerned about. So let's take a look at the number one holding, weighting-wise, inside of the IBB, and that's going to be Celgene. I'm going to just try to clear this off here. Let's clean the palette. We want to take a look at a clean palette. Now, forget about, we're just trying to take a look at Celgene. Was that really number one? How about that? Yeah, so, well, let me just make sure. I don't want to give you any bad information out here. Just want to make sure I didn't screw anything up here. Give me one moment. IBB. It's going to show me the current weighting structure as of yesterday. Yes, Celgene, 8.67%, and Biogen, 8.46%. Okay, so back to Celgene out here. Oh, it was a weekly chart that I was looking at. Let's not forget to put this on a daily. Now, Celgene is one of the stocks that did not form a hammer candle out there. Doesn't really matter. We want to see what it's pulling back into as we speak right now. And we're going to forget about the August 24th swing point for the time being. We're going to take a look at it as a swing point from September 28th and September 29th out there. The low, I'm not sure which one is the low. Let's go find out. The actual low is probably the 28th we want to benchmark anyways. 103.36. The next day, 103.27. That had 9 million shares, 11.7. We can see that price, for all intents and purposes at this stage here, is pulled back. It's very close to testing that swing point. Certainly looks like 108.63. The low so far, 108.66. So you've done volume of 5.5 million shares. Let's just put that into the Stevie calculator out here. Says you're going to do about 10 million shares. So you're pulling back with volume, right? You pull back on light volume. I take that back, because if we use September 28th, we use the 11 million shares, 11.7 million shares down there. You got 9.3 on the very next day. You're going to do somewhere around 10. You're pulling back with light to similar volume. So you're not seeing any kind of pullback with any extraordinary strength out here inside of Celgene. Number one weighting inside the IBB. What you and I are trying to determine here is, hey, what's going on with this retracement? Because this is where it's primarily coming from. We know that the NASDAQ, NDX 100, NASDAQ Composite can have a substantial impact on the markets. But you and I want to get this right here. And if we take a look at Biogen, number two weighting structure inside here, you've done volume of 2.3 million shares. Let's put it into the Stevie calculator, 2.3 million shares. That says that we're going to do about 4.2 million shares today. Now, the swing point here, August 24th, has got 5.8 million shares. That, in essence, is what it's going back into as well. That's got light volume. You've got 4.9 million shares on September 28th. That would be the other swing point. Now, it hasn't tested the bottom. It hasn't rejected the top. It would need to close above 284. If it doesn't do that, it should get down and test 265 or 267. But it's still doing it on lightish type volume as of 1:15 in the afternoon. No big break in Biogen. Now, Biogen, if we go put that on a weekly time frame, I don't recall which ones had hammer candles, but Biogen did. That's considered a hammer candle last week. So that says last week's low is very important. And he closed below that, by the way, and certainly it closed below that August 24th level. Remember, Biogen's got that big, huge island reversal up at the top here. Where does price pull back to, in the second weighting structure? It pulls back to a breakout, so it's not really that much further below, all things considered, considering it was in the 480, 490 level. It likely would get back down into about the 253-ish range, 250. That's where you had a breakout inside of Biogen with about 4.7 million shares. So pretty decent support down there, or at least should be. Time will tell. Let's go take a look at the number three weighting, Amgen. What is Amgen doing? So far today, this morning, this afternoon, you've done volume of 2.8 million shares. So 2.8, that's going to give us the equivalent of about 5 million shares. Now, in this case here, it looks like the test is done inside of Amgen. I think this was number three weighting here. So Amgen is testing its swing point from last week, September 28th, 7.5 million shares. You're doing 5.2 million shares. You've actually tested that high. 138.19 is the number. You've gotten down to a low of 138.06 and you've rejected it. So you've got a rejection inside of Amgen, assuming it can close above 138.19 with price and volume. What could that be set up? It could actually be set up in A to B equals CD to the upside. So that's what's going on inside number 3 waiting. Again, about 8% or a little bit more than 8%. Let's go check Gilead Sciences out here. Now, in the case of Gilead, volume today, 9.9 million shares. So 9.9, let's go see what it's doing. 9.9 is the equivalent today of 18 million shares as it pulls back into an 18 million share day. So it's not exactly busting apart the September 29th level. It's trading inside that level, which is 97.74. That says that Gilead likely to go down and test that low being $93.19. If it closes below, and there's 93.50, looks to me like there must be some 93.50. That's a swing point. That's interesting. Okay, I'm glad I actually had that out there, and we went a little bit further back to the left-hand side, because as we take a look at this, if you take a look at that swing point, which is the trading session from December 23rd, 2014, 61 million shares. Folks, Gilead Sciences is pulling back with light volume. Hasn't got down to test that area, but a test of 93.50 and a rejection of that, that just sets up more consolidation, but certainly not enough to bust it down. That was number 4 inside of the IBB. So let's go take a look at Regeneron Pharmaceuticals. Regeneron volume so far today, 695,000 shares, 695. That equates to about 1.3 million shares. The swing point that it's trading into, 3 million shares. So Regeneron, no way. It does not have the volume to go bust out those lows. Hasn't tested the lows, but it looks like at 437.64, there's some other pretty good support out here. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a red line out there. Actually, that's just simply a level of ice where price could pull back to. But even the volume there, 1.6 million shares from the trading session back here in March of 2015. So you've got Regeneron pulling back with some light volume out there. So you've got some weak hands, some people that are throwing up inside the IBB, and you've got buyers that are out there. No real volume to the upside either, but there's certainly no volume today to the downside. Inside of what we're taking a look at is 60% of the weighting structure. I haven't heard sell, sell, sell with regard to what's going on inside the market. Have you? If we take a look at what's going on, 923,000 shares so far, and that is inside of Alexion Pharmaceuticals, ALX. N is the ticker symbol. Volume today should end up at about 1.7 million shares. Shoot, this broke out a couple days ago with 2.7 million shares. It's not even making its way back into the swing points here from September 29th and September 28th. Those both also had 2.9 million shares. Light volume pullback inside of Alexion Pharmaceuticals. Hey, let's finish this off when we get back. Let's go take a look at Vertex, Insight, Mylan, Illumina. I think you've got to understand what's going on with those equities to better understand what's it mean, with the composite having pulled back 50 points. And we'll take a look at the rest of the market as well. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
TigerTV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. TigerTV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Steve takes your phone calls. Now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's up 45, S&P off 5, composite down 35. The reason we're spending so much time inside the biotech area, I mean, all you have to do is really look at the front page of my chart. If we take a look at point losers out here, you know, with the exception of Chipotle and then some miscellaneous ETFs out here, that's really what, you know, is moving to the downside. So that's what's putting the pressure inside the NASDAQ, and we want to go see if that pressure is real or not. It's kind of called truth or dare out here, and you know that we go looking for the truth. You and I, we're explorers. So we're going to go take a look at, I don't recall, did we? Yeah, we must have looked at Vertex Pharmaceuticals. But if we didn't, let's just finish it off here. So in the case of Vertex Pharmaceuticals, it's done 2 million shares. Yeah, I don't think we did. So done 2 million shares. It's going to do, I can change this here. It's going to do somewhere around 3 million shares today. Now, it's testing. It's already tested the swing point from the trading session of September 29th. That has 3.7. You're going to do 3.2. So this is also testing a swing point. It's tested and rejected it on light volume thus far. This could actually be setting up an A to B equals CD to the upside. If we take a look at Insight Corp, we've just got really 3 more to do, I believe. Insight Corp 2.2 million shares today. 2.2 says that this ought to do about 3.5. 3.5. It has not tested. No, actually, I take that back. Looks like it's tested really both August 24th as well as September 28th. Now, September 28th's got 3.5 million shares, so that's similar volume. However, and you've got 1.8. So Insight has got some problems. Or seems to have some problems out here. So more likely than not, it's going to get back down and test that 89.37 level at some point in time. I believe that's about 4% or so. We got Mylan and Illumina. So let's go take a look at Mylan out here. And as we take a look at Mylan, this is done 4.1 million shares. So 4.1 says you ought to do about 6 million today, and its swing points got 12 million. Wow, how about that? Now, this has got this. I think I shared this with you. This has got the island top of island tops out here. Yeah, this one's got to hit the textbook. Somebody who's going to do an island textbook. You know, if you're doing a textbook about the islands, you know, you got some Tommy Bahama, you got some music out there, some steel drums, some Jimmy Buffett stuff going. Hey, you might as well slip in, you know, some island top reversal patterns out there, right? Just kind of change things up. And Mylan, this thing had broken out big volume back on the trading day of April the 8th out here. And when I say big volume for this, 51 million shares out here. There's a lot of shareholders. There's a lot of shares that are trapped inside this island out there, that island top. In any event, it is today, this thing moved up with 9.8 million shares, pulling back today with about 6. Still light volume inside of Mylan. Looks to me like the selling should be over inside the IBB fairly soon. Now, in the case of Illumina, this thing basically gapped away this morning. It's got big volume behind it. Where is this thing headed to? Let's put this on a weekly chart out here because the daily doesn't tell me a whole lot. This thing has pulled all the way back into a set of swing points into 2014. Volume out there on the weekly basis looks like about 17. Was it 17? About 17 million shares last week. Oh, shoot, you've already 15 million shares here today. So basically, this broke out. Illumina originally broke out. You'd have to say the breakout was right around the price point of 113.15. You're at 143. There's a pretty darn good chance that that's where this equity is headed to. So of the top 10 holdings inside the IBB, the only one that is blowing apart out here thus far, as of 128, is Illumina. Now let's go take a look at the rest of the markets, get a feel for what is going on out there. Let's go take a look at our summation index out here. Now, the New York Stock Exchange trying to repair its window. It has run right into the gap down from September 17th. 10,200.61 is the exact bottom of the low of that September 17th area. You can see it's moved up into that area. It's rejected it thus far. That's really a key level, 10,200, because at this stage, what you and I know is this is resistance. If you can't get bust through resistance, that could be a problem. But the price oscillator, looking at the very bottom of the screen, still above the 150 level. Super califragilisticexpialidocious. I mean, this thing, yesterday, the market breadth inside the New York Stock Exchange in the last 3 years, I think it's the 5th. It's right around I'm pretty sure it's the 4th or 5th highest market breadth day. Anybody who's telling you that the market breadth is weak out here is on an island listening to Jimmy Buffett drinking margarita. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization memorization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's nadex.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
TFNN has just announced a brand new morning lineup that is geared specifically for traders in this volatile traders market. Every morning at 8 a.m., John Logan starts things off with his daily program, The Global Market Pulse. At 9 a.m., Larry Pezzavento trades the market during the market open Monday through Friday on Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom O'Brien hosts the Money Masters for the hour, and Basil Chapman hosts his Tiger Technicians Hour at 11 a.m. From 8 a.m. till noon every market day, these traders are with you as they provide up-to-the-second market information so that you can make the most educated and profitable trades possible. The new TFNN morning lineup is happening right now. Tune in to see for yourself what kind of actionable trading discussion they have each morning, Monday through Friday, starting at 8 a.m., live only on TigerTV at TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's up 29, S&P's off 7, Composite off 40. And we were taking a look at the price oscillator summation index for the New York Stock Exchange. So we covered that. Now, the NASDAQ Composite, look, there's 3,000 plus other issues that are traded with inside the composite. So it's not just all about the IBB, most certainly. If we take a look at the NASDAQ Composite, the number for you to be watching this afternoon is if the NASDAQ Composite closes below 47.27. That's telling us that's going to be like Paul Revere riding through the streets, telling you that the sellers are coming. At least the sellers would be coming inside the NASDAQ Composite. And so we're going to have one of these markets here where, if that were to occur, where we're likely not going to have signals that are uniform across the board. Now, what the NASDAQ Composite has done thus far, or it's trying to do, we did see a nice little gap up here from Friday's close to Monday's open. The top of Friday's close was 47.0778. The low so far, 47.11. Hasn't gotten completely down into that level. But really, and you're trading at 47.39, there's there's really two areas to be watching inside the NASDAQ composite. One's going to be the price point of 47.27 or thereabouts. And look, if it closes and it misses by a buck, don't start worrying too much one way or the other out there. The other level would be, a close of its price oscillator back down below zero. And I don't recall if on my other spreadsheet, if I have that. I don't know that I do. If I do, NASDAQ composite, 1,817 net advancing issues is what it would need in order for it to turn its price oscillator down below zero. But I would say that 47.27 is a more reliable number to focus on and pay attention. Inside of the Dow here trading inside the September 17th swing point. The low of that is 16,639. Looks to me like the Dow wants to try to tackle that September 17th swing point, maybe even close above it at 16,933. It's trading right now on the 50-day simple moving average, I believe, is probably what I have up here because I was trying to show the death cross. But let me make sure. I don't want to. Yeah, it's simple. It's simpleton. Now, if in fact the Dow can close above 16,933, could form an A to B equals C to the upside, and could actually suggest a move to 17,617, the 200-day exponential moving average. I'm not sure where the A to B equals CD would complete, but it's probably in that general vicinity out here. Inside of the S&P 500, the number to be watching today, and it would need to totally be turnaround Tuesday. But look, in these markets here, anything can happen, and the number to be watching for inside the S&P is going to be 1950.50 as we speak right now. If we were to see a close below that, this will have lived up to turnaround Tuesday, and you're at 1978. So that's another 28 points to the downside. If there was a chance to do that, it certainly would have been this morning with the Illumina gapping down with pressure inside the IBB. But I think we've covered that. And at this stage of the game, we've got a rejection of the September 17th low. Looks like there might have even been a close just slightly above it yesterday. 1986. Yesterday's close was 1987. Yeah. So that window is basically repaired. There's really no reason for the S&P 500 to not make its way up to the September 17th high and get that 2020 vision out there. 2020.86 is the exact number out there. But you've got the number to the upside. You also have the number to the downside. Got you covered in all bases out here. Hey, we haven't taken a look at Goldilocks. Let's go take a look at Goldilocks. Gold waking up here this morning, getting above its descending trend line out here. Now, we've seen this play before. And when I say we've seen this play, if you take a look at the high from January 22nd, we use that as one of our touch points. Then we take a look at the high from May 18th. And then we take a look at the high from August 24th. Of course, what you and I are looking at is the December contract out here. We had a breakaway, and that was on September 24th out there. But then immediately, it was as if it hit the goal line, but it was really on the 1-yard line where there was a fumble of mass proportions out there. I'm not sure what mass proportions mean, but basically the fumble put the gold contract back below that descending trend line on the following session, September 25th. So I would just simply have to say that although today looks pretty decent, we'll go take a look at the GLD. I think volume is basically light. If it can close, still above that trend line, it'll all be about tomorrow. It certainly would be all about whether or not Goldilocks can get over 1156.40 out there, and that is the August 24th. I'm sorry, isn't it? Oh, September 24th. What the heck was I thinking? What was I smoking out there? That would be the September 24th high out there at 1156.40. So at this stage, let's go check out the GLD. And at this stage of the game, I can't tell you whether or not this is really a breakout or not inside of Goldilocks. Volume-wise, you've done 4.3 million shares. Hey, let's put that Stevie calculator back up on the screen. So I said it was 4.3 million shares. Says you're going to do less than 7. And the swing point from, well, then we got 2 swing points to look at. You got August 24th and September. So the September swing, September 23rd, volume of 2.7. Hey, that's not too shabby. But the volume out here, because is on August 24th, is the light volume. 18 million shares. 18 million shares inside the GLD. Looks like you can do somewhere around 7-ish out here. Nonetheless, closing inside a swing point with light volume, 109.77. We have to treat things equally out here. Says you can go test 112.12 out there. So that's what's going on inside of Goldilocks. We ought to check out some of the equities inside of the mining sector out here to get a feel for what's going on. We'll take a look at Randgold Resource. Now, Randgold has tested its August 21st swing point. That's got 1.4 million shares. That's coming up light, is what it looks like. You've done 577. You're going to do 937, give or take. Let me turn off these profiles here for the Momento. Where's the button? There we go. Okay, so we're coming. It's testing the swing point. This is one of the stronger stocks out here. So it's testing August 21st. It's actually rejected the swing point on price and volume as we speak right now. Let me just do this here so I can show you. If we take a look at the bottom of that swing point, so really where this closes today is muy importante, because if this closes below 65.37, you're going to have rejection of one of the stronger equities with inside the mining sector on price and volume. Now, what does that say? It says you can't bust them up. You try to go bust them down. Where does bust them down take you to? Really could take you just back to the September 18th high around the 60.98 level out there. So that's what its message is as of 142. Let's take a look at Agnico Eagle, another one of the strong equities. This has completed a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. This is over the August 20th swing point. This is stronger than Randgold Resources. So what is it doing? It's done volume today at 3 million shares. 3 million says you do somewhere around 4.8 or so. What's this moving into? It's got volume. So Agnico Eagle looks pretty good. Now, Agnico Eagle, what it's also done, that's interesting. Let me get rid of the retracements here. Let me just turn them off so I don't have to turn them back on, or have to redo them. Give me a moment to do this. So that's very interesting. So in addition to, I didn't catch this earlier, when I sent out an update to subscribers on adjusting our stop and adjusting our exits inside of Agnico Eagle. But if we pull this back far enough, now why the heck did I do that? That was a mistake. Well, we'll just simply have to, I don't know how I did that. That was, to talk about having magic fingers out there. Apparently, that was it. There we go. Okay, we got the volume back to where it's supposed to be. Okay, now if you take a look at AEM, the swing point that I'm looking at takes you back to 2010. So from December 6th of 2010, let me pull this over here, we can see that is a trend line. That is quite a trend line. That is, in essence, under attack. Boy, breaking above that would be really impressive. So we know that it's completed a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. There's no bearish reversal signal here, and it's moving higher with volume. So that's a pretty good positive. Let's take a look at Barrick Gold. That thing is ugly. Hey, let's go take a look at an ugly duckling out here anyways. Let's go take a look at Barrick Gold gapping up. So let's go see what weak links are doing. Barrick Gold here gapping up today, 17 million shares. So 17 million says you do somewhere around 27 million shares. It's taking out a previous swing that had 28 million shares. So, this is starting to get its legs out here. Barrick Gold. Not too bad when the weak links start to perform. Let's go take a look at Goldcorp, see if this thing is doing anything. Up with 9.2 million shares, up 14 cents, 13 cents. 9.2 says maybe about 14 to 15 million share day. And it's moving into a swing point that did 15 million shares, September 18. Not too shabby out here. So that's so what does that mean? Let's just simply go back to gold and says, you know what, gold needs to not retreat and get back below that trend line. If gold can keep moving forward, you got the U.S. dollar index pulling back quite a bit. Today, I've got a 10-minute delay, but it's back by 625 ticks as we speak right now. Again, I think that dance step, that correlation between the U.S. dollar and gold, it's just not really there. What you and I know is the following, is that if gold comes back into that trend line area, it's not good. It is not a good thing. What does that mean? It means we're going to see further retracement. Hey, speaking of retracements, if you want to know what the market is actually doing, well, forget about that. We've got a call list out here. We've got Maria in New York. Maria, I apologize for asking you to hold. I didn't see you on my list out there. How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for asking. Tell me what you want to take a look at the IBB.
Yeah, I was wondering because I'm sorry I missed the beginning.
No problem. Are you in the IBB? Are you long?
No,
Are you short?
I'm short the IBB, and I missed the beginning of your show, and I apologize for that. So maybe you're repeating yourself. But I was looking at the 10-minute chart of the IBB, and from this morning, he went from 310 to 292. Then he retraced back to 302, which for me is more or less a 61% retracement. So I think if we start really going down, we should go to 285 in a 10-minute chart. So that should be a nice ABC down, and that should bring the Nasdaq a bit further down. What do you think?
Well, if you're looking at the 10-minute chart, the area that you want to focus on is going to be the 12 to 1210 area, because inside the IBB, that had volume on that bar of 381,000 shares. And if we take a look at the current 10-minute bar, well, you look at the last one that completed, only 144,000 shares. So in order for that conclusion to be correct, you're going to need to see the IBB pick up volume on the way down, meaning somewhere between 200,000 to 400,000 shares out there. So that's at least what the 10-minute chart is communicating to you and I. Because if it pulls back, you can also make the case that, hey, maybe this is going to make an A to B equals CD to the upside on the 10-minute chart. Now that in itself could set up a Gartley sell pattern out there. I did cover the IBB in real detail during the first two segments, and the reason is because when I took a look at my screen, that was basically most of those stocks were the ones that were making up the move to the downside inside the NASDAQ, and that's what was really showing up on my screen. And we saw that the majority of those stocks were pulling back on light volume. However, what I also suggested was last week's candle formation inside the IBB, Maria, is what's referred to as a weekly hammer candle. And those are important candles to pay attention to. So what you really want to see is some type of close below last week's low of 285.53, which the A to B equals CD pattern that you're looking for on your 10-minute chart says that you would, in essence, do that. So if by Friday the IBB closes below 285.53, you're in a good trade, because where this is then going to pull back to, or should pull back to, is the price area of probably around the 248, 249 type range. Something like that.
Okay.
That's how I see it. But you've studied this even closer, so tell me what else you're looking at.
No, I was looking just at the candle yesterday. The daily candle was pretty ugly. And then I looked at the volume on the 10-minute chart, and as you said, there was a kind of high. I'm just going to try to go back to my 10-minute, and it was looking like a lot of volume on the way down. So I think it has to be retested, and that's why I was thinking the AB equals CD down with a target of 285 initially, and then the end of it, for me, I have a target at 265.
Yeah, so that on the 10-minute basis, if my data is correct here, at the 11:50, so between 11:50 and 12 o'clock, the IBB was moving down, and the volume was 194,000 shares that transpired. And that actually is really your swing point low. And then what you actually could say, or what I would say, is you had volume off of the lows out there, because the next candle did not make a lower low. Price moved off of that level, and it moved up with 381,000 shares. So to me, that's volume coming off of the bottom, not volume pushing into the bottom.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, because my screen is not very good. Okay,
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Okay, now I understand. Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Hey, thanks so much for calling, Maria.
Bye.
You bet. It's Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Dow is up 20. S&P is off 9. We'll be right back.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Join David Dwight as he keeps you up to date on the latest tech stocks while he uses his Power Law Vector Indicator to identify the best trades. The Power Trading Hour, next on TFNN.
Looking back, Dow's up 25, S&P's off 8, composite down 43 points. So the market taking a bit of a breather after a ton of heavy lifting over the course of the last couple of days. Had a request to go take a look at the Japanese yen. As we take a look at it, what we can see out here is really since August 24th, quite frankly, this has just simply been trading sideways. I mean, we had that big move on August 24th, as all the markets really did. And then ever since then, this thing is just really going sideways. Now, if you take a look at the longer-term trend inside of the Japanese yen, you're going to see a nice, beautiful rising price channel out here. Price is really up against support-ish type areas. Now, if this goes on for a number of weeks, price will break this rising price channel, but it'll do it by going sideways, and you know, that's never really meant a whole lot to me. At this stage, it looks like the Japanese yen is up against support more than anything else as we speak, but it really is doing nothing out here. If you're going to trade this, you really got to go down to, like Maria was, you got to go down to some 10-minute charts out there, probably to find any kind of decent patterns. With regard to the rest of the markets out here, it's the NASDAQ that has been the weak link out here. The NASDAQ, if we take a look at its 30-minute chart, you've got this nice little hammer candle out here that says at the low of that hammer, which is 4263.50. That's going to be an important low for price to hold. If it doesn't, expect price and anticipate price will move lower throughout the rest of the afternoon. Where will it move down to? Well, if I take a look at a 120-minute time frame chart for the NQ, we can see that this is up against support out here of its TAS market profile. That happens to be the 4276 area. So that's not going to do us any. Oh, did I? No, I didn't do that. Okay, good. I just meant to actually just shut it down that way. If we go take a look at a 300-minute chart out here for the NQ, this one's populated with just about every profile you could want. So if we see it close below that, a hammer candle, this says, what does this say? This says from a 300-minute time frame, you're looking at a price level to watch of 42.56. You clear 42.56, and that actually says price could move back to the 41.88 area. So 42.56, another really important area inside the NQ. Now, why is all that important? It's all important because the NQ out here completed an A to B equals CD to the upside. It did it. It moved up in the 120-minute chart. We took a look at it, moved up right in the resistance of its TAS market profile. That is the red dashed line on my screen, a little bear sash candle. We're coming into 2 o'clock. This candle is still relevant. Even though you've seen the market take back some of those losses, it is still a valid A to B equals CD pattern. And once you complete those, you do some kind of retracement. And that's what this is actually signaling to you and I. Now, whether that's going to take place in the next couple hours or maybe it takes place overnight in the morning, that I can't tell you because we're taking a look at the equity futures contract. You have your levels of support out there and know when those things break, where price is likely to head to, as well as the 42.19 area, which is just simply your 0.382 retracement of that pattern. And if we're taking a look at other intraday signals out here, you've got the 2-hour chart for the ES Mini. And the 2-hour chart for the ES Mini, this formed a between a 1 to 1.272 and 1 to 1.618 A to B equals CD. It also went ahead and it completed a price relative strength divergent pattern, created a bearish engulfing candle, and that is a valid signal at this stage here. We basically have seen follow through to the downside. So inside the ES Mini, shoot, I can make the case of a pullback to 1935, even 1907. That's on that chart out here. If I take a look at support on the 300-minute chart where I've got multiple support levels out here, it's really got, in order for that to come to fruition, it needs to close below 1968. Folks, stay tuned. Our man David White's going to be up next. Have a terrific Tuesday. I look forward to seeing you on wonderful Wednesday. Take care.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.